Well, welcome to my bathroom floor. Today, let's talk about how we can really quickly and easily get rid of extra hair products and makeup that we're not using, because I know how these things can accumulate and they can be kind of tough to part with because a lot of times we spent good money on them. So today, let's talk about how we can free up some extra real estate in our bathroom really easily, but also take some of the guilt out of the process as well. Well, hi, I'm Dawn from The Minimal Mom, where we like to share our best tips and tricks and secrets for living more simply. And I know how bathrooms accumulate extra hair products, extra makeup, and how sometimes these things can be really hard to part with. Like, I spent, I think, $22 on this because I watched a video, a hair tutorial, and they said how much they love this. So I'm like, okay. They even seem to have similar hair to me. So I'm like, I'm gonna buy it. And it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't work well for my hair. And so today, let's talk about how we can get through these items quickly. They don't have to hang us up anymore. They don't have to cause us guilt anymore. So we'll talk about that, as well as a quick trick for simplifying your makeup too. When it comes to hair care products, what I never fully understood, I mean, I know everyone's hair is different, right? Obviously, we all have very different hair, but I also didn't know until I was at the stylist recently that our pH level, our hormones, all of these can affect how products work in our hair too. So even if something worked well for us in the past, it could change in the future. And so, oh, that's kind of frustrating, right? It's a little bit maddening because it feels like we're always having to try new things. But the reason I want to emphasize this is that if we have bought things like this in the past, that we have to not be so hard on ourselves, because we can't possibly know ahead of time if it's gonna work great on our hair or not. Until we pay the money, take it home, and try it, we just don't know. And so this did not work well for me, and so it has been sitting in my cabinet here since November, I think. And so I'm like, why am I letting it continue to take up valuable space? Most of us don't have tons of extra room in our bathroom, and not just getting rid of it or passing it on to someone who could actually use it. So when it comes to hair care products, one, realize that not every product works on every hair type. So if it's not working, it's time to move on from it. Two, what could we do with it, or who could we pass it on to? So this is nearly full and it's still in really good condition. So I'm gonna put this in my box to go to a women's shelter. So I've been trying to collect new items because they only accept new items. And the nice thing about hair products is I don't think you could tell that this has been used once or twice. So I think someone there could still fully appreciate it. Otherwise, if it's something that's been used, okay, this is my dry shampoo. I'm not actually getting rid of that. Not to confuse anybody, I still very much rely on this on a regular basis. Okay, but if we have something else, like this is half used, I'll pass it on to my mom or sister and say, well, why don't you guys give it a try? It didn't work for me, but maybe it'll work for you. So that definitely helps to take away some of this guilt too, if somebody else can try it and make use of it. But worst case scenario, if you have no other option, let's just toss it now and not have the reminder, because every time I opened this cabinet, I would see this and I thought about the $22 that I spent on it and how I wasn't using it. And I kept thinking like, okay, I'll try it again. Maybe I didn't use it right. But let's face it, we are creatures of habit, and I just don't have tons of extra time to be trying out new hair products. And so that's why this has been sitting down there now unused. So you're not alone. It happens to all of us. I have gotten way better at it now. I'm a much more careful shopper as we've simplified our house. But again, it's not worth keeping it in the cabinet if we're just not using it. So my encouragement to you today is to pull everything out, every hair product, every bath product, everything in your linen closets and your cabinets and your medicine cabinets, even out of your shower. If you are not using it, let's pass it on to somebody who could, and let's free up the extra space in our cabinets. Like, this is missing the nozzle. Like, how do you use spray guard without the nozzle, right? And this, it like stopped spraying. Have you had that problem? This one too, with dry shampoo, where they stop spraying. And so this is like half full, so I haven't wanted to get rid of it. But again, if it doesn't spray out, it can't work. So I just need to get rid of it. Okay, so let's talk about makeup. I have had this makeup bag, I don't even know, my sister gave it to me. It was from a Clinique like free gift. I love the Clinique bags, by the way. I think I've used them for the last, I don't even know how many years. So this is my old makeup bag. It's getting a little tired. And so I have this new one that my sister also gave to me. Also came with a free gift, but it's a nice size. So I'm gonna switch to using this one. So this is the perfect time to sort through our makeup. So what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna move over the stuff that I use on a daily basis, and anything that's left in the bottom, I'm gonna zip it up, I'm gonna put it back in the drawer, and I'm just gonna let it sit there. I mean, if there's stuff that I know can just be discarded or I could pass on to someone else to try, I'm gonna do that. But if there's stuff in there that I'm just not sure of or I'm not ready to part with, I'm gonna leave this in the drawer, and I'm gonna start using this one with my everyday makeup in it. And then after a few weeks or a month, whenever you feel comfortable, I'm gonna go back to this and see if there really is anything in there that I can't live without, or if at that time then I could, you know, pass it on again to a friend, a sister, kids. There's lots of people out there that we could pass it on, and then they can try it too without them having to buy it. So it really can be kind of a blessing to other people for us to take these things that haven't worked for us and to pass it on to them for them to be able to try it. Okay, so one last area that I think can tend to hang us all up, especially if you're like me and you're thrifty and frugal and you just love a good deal and anything for free. So these sample products can really be hard to part with for whatever reason. And so I get them. Like, I was at Ulta the other day and I had to wait for a little while. So she's like, oh, let me get you some sample products. And before I could even be like, no, that's okay, she came back with these, and I'm like, oh, okay. Now one's just a hand cream, so this I will make use of. This is like a night under eye thing. I would have really good intentions of using this and putting this on at night, but I never remember. And then I see it in the drawer in the morning when I'm going to do my makeup, and it's just never gonna get used now. So again, I'm gonna put this in here for stuff to be able to pass on to other people and to bless. Same, I don't even know, a hydrating primer. Again, it seems, in theory, it seems like, oh yeah, I should use this, or this will be really good, and I just haven't. It's been sitting in my drawer for this one for a couple weeks now. Or I got this like mascara, but then I found out it's waterproof, which, what a pain to take off. And so I'm like, I keep it thinking like, oh, but maybe if my other one runs out, then I could have this as a backup, or if we go swimming, then I'll definitely, and I just don't. But I never use it. I don't think of it when the time comes. And so I'm really learning to just part with these things now, free up the drawer space and the extra space in our vanities and all of our cabinets, and just get to enjoy the peace that comes with having drawers that are only half full, and just having the extra space and not having the reminders of money I've spent that I wish I wouldn't have. So this does hurt a little bit, bringing this whole bag out to the garbage, but I just have to remind myself that that stings for like 30 seconds and then I forget about it, and it's gonna be so nice having my drawers and my cupboard all cleaned out again. And so it's totally worth it just to get this stuff out of here and take our space back. So I hope that helps a little bit. I hope it helps to know that you're definitely not alone when it comes to these types of items. I do have a full separate video on organizing our bathroom, so I'll link to that down below. But please share your tips when it comes to getting rid of some of these things, who you might share them with, where you would donate them, or where else you could pass them on to. And also, if there's anything that's hanging you up right now, or if there's a product that you thought was gonna be so awesome and so you had to try it and it doesn't work like you thought, share that down below so that everyone can be encouraged and that we all know that we're not alone. So as always, the best compliment you can give us is a thumbs up. I hope you subscribe so that we can spend more time together and just kind of go on this simplifying journey together. It's definitely more fun that way. So thank you for subscribing, and I'll look forward to visiting with you again really soon.